Bahiling Madonai Mikamocha Nehedar Bakodesh Lo Ra Tehilo Osef Eleh Lo Ra Tehilo Osef Michamocha Baelim Madonai Mikamocha Nehedar Bakodesh Lo Ra Tehilo Osef Eleh Lo Ra Tehilo Osef Ayam lifnei Moshe Miriam Ze Elianu ve'amru Adonai lo le'olam va'ed Michamocha ba'elim Adonai Mikamocha nehedar ba'kodesh
That's fine.
Mike. It's fine. That's why I asked. That is why I asked.
Is it here or here? Here?
Oh, Tanner told me. I think that's better.
This is here or here? This whole thing. It's working.
All right, come on in, everyone. Find a seat. Welcome, everyone. Come in and grab a prayer book, find a seat, make yourself at home. Welcome, everyone. Come in, find a seat, sit next to someone new if you so dare. As you're coming in, feel free. If you're sitting next to someone who you didn't come here with, you can always turn, introduce yourself, wish them a Shabbat Shalom so that we feel a little bit more like community.
In Yiddish, the word schlep, it's not just a noun, it's a verb. To drag, to carry.
All right, we're good. All right, so my friends, as you find your seats, tonight is going to be a night of singing, of a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of learning, and there's room for everyone. So we'll start tonight. We're going to be on page 344 at the top. And we're going to sing this song in honor of the fact that this week in our Torah portion, we are marking this moment where we finally find the Israelites finishing the work of building the Mishkan, building this holy space. And so we're going to sing the words of Pete Huli on the top of page 344, but then go into sort of an English version of the tune that I'm guessing some of you may know well, even if you don't know it in the Hebrew.
Pete Huli, Sha'arei Tzedek, Avovam, Odeya, Pete Huli, Sha'arei Tzedek, Avovam, Odeya. Pete Huli, Sha'arei Tzedek, Avovam, Odeya. Pete Huli, Sha'arei Tzedek, Avovam, Odeya. God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. In thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Pete Huli, Sha'arei Tzedek, Avovam, Odeya. Pete Huli, Sha'arei Tzedek, Avovam, Odeya.
So we know that when people come to services, that people come here for many different reasons. Some come because we're celebrating a simcha in your life. Others come because you're honoring a loss. Others come because it's like the first nice Friday night in a very long time, and it just feels nice to be able to be out and about and doing something. And some of us come just so that we can be with community. So whatever it is that brings you here tonight, I hope that you find what it is you're looking for. And one of the simchas that we are here celebrating tonight is that tomorrow Jordan Soshnik is becoming a bar mitzvah. That's you. That's you. He's like, so in honor of that special event, we are going to invite up Jordan and Emmy and also their parents, Jennifer and Danny, to light the Shabbat candles and say Kiddush and Motzi. You're looking at each other with a little bit of surprise, but we talked about this. This is your moment. Come on, you got it. Okay. She knows it. I am not concerned.
it was all
It's now. This is the moment.
What about tomorrow?
This is the moment. Also tomorrow. All right, so we're going to do candlelighting first. And for those of you who want to follow along in our Siddur, it is on page 2. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. All right, Emmy with the cool pandas, will you mind lifting that Kiddush cup for us? Or Danny can. Beautiful. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. It's just juice.
L'chaim anyway.
All right, and then take the little cover off. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Take a bite. It's all yours. Nicely done. All right, beautiful. You did it. So when we come to celebrate Shabbat together, there are so many different ways that we talk about how to make this day holy, but one of them is using an image of a beautiful bride coming into our midst. And so when we welcome the Shabbat bride in and we turn to page 20 and we sing Lachado Di, just trying to make sure that we think of this time as a little more sacred, a little more special than any other time of the week. The most special time of all, Shabbat.
Lecha dodi likrat kala panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala panei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. פני שבת נקבלה.
All right, do you think Harrison is ready for his moment? I'm trying to get him. Yes, he's ready. All right, so it's always important to gauge just when it's the good time for a baby naming. This is the time because I could see he's got like 5 minutes before maybe he freaks out. So come on up. It is our pleasure that we have this beautiful little boy who we are welcoming tonight. Now, will he do okay if you sit in the chair, or would you rather stand and bounce? You can stand and bounce. Okay, so Ben, guess what? You get to sit in the chair. It'll be like a throne. It'll be fun. Okay. Beautiful.
Freaky Friday.
So, this evening, we have the opportunity to welcome this beautiful baby boy into our midst. Now, his dad is being very gracious and sitting in this chair because this chair is a special chair. Some of you know this because you've been here before. But when we do a baby naming, we always talk about the idea that we say, Zehi Kisa Eliyahu Zachor Latov, that this is the chair of Elijah. Because we have this idea that every time that a new child comes into our community, that there is a chance that he or she may be the Messiah. And because we're told Elijah is going to show up when that happens, we have to have a special chair designated for that child. Today, Ben is going to be the child. He's not the Messiah. Just so you know, he's a wonderful guy, but not the Messiah. But you, my friend, may be. So what we wanted to do was take a few moments and see, are you ready, buddy? He's ready. I know it's so hard to hear a little bit, or you can, sorry, I'm making you sit, but you can stand with your wife if you want to. All right, we'll just have this be the symbolic chair. So will you guys tell us a little bit about his names, and then we'll give him some special blessings.
So welcome everyone. Ashley and I are overjoyed to see all of you here today to celebrate the naming of our son, Harrison Robert Klein. These past few months with Harrison have been filled with pure joy. We feel incredibly fortunate to have him in our lives, and our hearts are bursting with love for our growing family. We want to express our deepest gratitude to our family and friends. Your unwavering support and love mean the world to us, and especially Harrison. Harrison's name holds a special place in our hearts. He's named after my grandfather, Dr. Robert Paul Klein, and Ashley's grandfather, Robert Reinhardt. My grandfather, Bobby, was such an influential figure in my life. He was a hardworking, loving, and a gentleman in the truest sense of the word. Ashley's grandfather, affectionately known as Pawpaw, was polished, composed, generous, and always up for a Baskin-Robbins date. We both cherish the many memories we had with our grandfathers and are honored to name Harrison after him. We also just want to quickly thank Rabbi Amy and Rabbi Michael and Temple for hosting us today. As an honor and tradition, we've chosen the Hebrew name Hayam Ronan for Harrison Robert. Hayam means life, and Harrison, know that you have brought new life to our family, and we couldn't be more grateful for that. Ronan means song and joy for Harrison's happy demeanor and early love of music. Thank you.
Beautiful. So we're going to give him a little blessing, though I think he likes the music. He was looking at Rob, and they were sort of making googie eyes at each other. All right, so our sweet one, Chaim Ronan. Oh, yeah, the bright lights. So there's always a few blessings that we like to give you. This is not a bris, so you do not have to worry at all. It is just a naming. There's a few blessings that we like to give you here as we welcome you officially into the community. First, we hope that your life, just like your parents, that it is filled with love, that someday, just as your parents found each other, that you too will find a perfect partner who will be able to make your life complete, and that you will always know that your life is filled with love because there's so many people who are here who love you, who are surrounding you.
May you live a life filled with ma'asim tovim, a life that is filled with good deeds. May you be inspired by the teachings of the Torah to live a life filled with meaning, but also with hands that do good in this world.
And lastly, may you live a life of Torah. May you know that as long as you are always learning, that you will never be alone, that the world will be a better place. And may it just make sure that you are using that learning to do the good in the world that I know that with your family here, that you will be so inspired to do. So one last thing. I'm going to put my hand on your little tushy. Yeah. May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine upon you
and guide you as you go on your way.
May God's countenance be lifted over you. May be granted with peace. You're done.
Mazel tov.
Did it. Beautiful. Nicely
All right,
done.
put the sneakers on.
Oh, wait. We're going to give you this too. Wait, but hold on.
Paperwork.
Paperwork in case you ever forget and you're like, what did we name him again? Then you also have this. Beautiful. So we'll ask you now, if you will, to all please rise, and we're going to call each other to worship with the words of the Baruch Hu. Page 28. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Yailai,
Yailai, yailai, yailai, yailai, yailai,
Continue on page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim.
We read responsively on 33, wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works in the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And we continue with Shema on page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Yael Elai, 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 Yael Elai. Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Va'ed. Yaelai, 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 Yael Elai, Yael Elai, Yael Elai, Yael Elai, Yael Elai, Yael Elai, Yael Elai.
Please be seated. And I know tonight we have some recent and some upcoming B'nai Mitzvah students who have offered to help us with our next prayer. So if you're one of them, you know who you are. Recent or upcoming B'nai Mitzvah students. Yes, Drew.
If you're being shoved by a relative right now down the aisle, that's you.
There's Zach. We've got another Zach. Yes, good. We continue on page 36.
It's okay, share.
ואהבת
את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. On page 39, standing on parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot.
That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness.
That there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Join on page 40.
Mocha, Va'ilim Adonai, Vika Mocha, Netar Bakodesh, Norah Tehilot, Oseh Feleh, Norah Tehilot, Oseh Feleh, Micha Mocha, Va'ilim Adonai, Vika Mocha, Netar Bakodesh.
Yichamocha are the words that our ancestors sang as they marched from slavery to freedom. But in our evening service, we always follow it with the words on page 42 of the Hashkivenu, asking God that wherever our freedom takes us, we ask that God would spread a shelter of peace wherever we may go.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim.
So I'll ask you to turn now to page 46, and we'll rise together for words of tefillah.
Adonai, Sefatai Tiftachu, Fi Agi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula Lifnei Bneihem, Le'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav lehoshia. Mechakeh chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim ve'ofech olim, Umatir asurim. Umekayem emunato lishnei afar. Michamocha ba'al hevurot umido melach. Melech mimit umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah lechayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. So at this point in our service, we are going to skip all the way ahead until we get to page 253. Because at this time, we always take a few moments to think of those people in our families, in our circle of friends, in our communities who are in need of healing prayers. So if there's someone who you're thinking of at this time, someone who could use some healing and who would appreciate knowing that their names were shared in this space, we'd invite you to share them at this time. We're thinking tonight of Eric Ash and Carl Greenberg, of Cherna Nechama Batchaya Goldalea, of Nathan Levinson, of Joanne Phillips and Marilyn Schlitter, Kennedy Smith and Harriet Snyder and Lacey Weinstein, and of all those names that we're saying in our hearts. So for each of them and for each of us, we sing these words of Misha Berach, 253. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor Abracha Ve'imotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe Berach Imotenu Mekor Abracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body,
renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Ose shalom bimroma, huya ase shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimroma, huya ase shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimroma, huya ase shalom aleinu. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, Shalom aleinu, Be'alku Yisrael. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, Shalom aleinu, Be'alku Yisrael. Ose shalom bimroma, Huya ase shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimroma, Huya ase shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimroma, Huya ase shalom aleinu. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, Shalom aleinu, Be'alko Yisrael. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, Shalom aleinu, Be'alko Yisrael. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, Shalom aleinu, Be'alko Yisrael.
The people continued to bring free will offerings morning after morning. So all the skilled workers who were doing all the work on the sanctuary left what they were doing, and they said to Moses, "The people are bringing more than enough for doing work that God commanded." So Moses gave an order, and they sent this word throughout the camp: "No man or woman is to make anything else as an offering for the sanctuary." And so the people were restrained from bringing more, because what they had was already more than enough to do all the work. Exodus 36, 3-7. The people were restrained because what they had was already more than enough to do all the work. This is a strange week in the Torah. This Torah portion this week describes the people in a way that the children of Israel are not often described. Typically, the Torah has got an attitude problem when it comes to the Israelites. And it's for a pretty good reason. They are stiff-necked. They are stubborn. They quarrel amongst themselves. And after that whole golden calf thing, we could pretty much make a decision that they're not very faithful. This week, the Torah takes a totally different approach, and it portrays the Israelites in a surprisingly positive way. They are generous. They are cooperative. They have become creative, artistic, and refined. They listen to Moses instead of arguing with him. And in the end, of their own initiative, they built something so beautiful that God comes down to dwell within it. How did these people transform themselves? What happened to them to change them from golden calf-loving party people into organized and dedicated artisans with wise and generous hearts. How does someone, especially someone who has suffered under Pharaoh, go from being stiff-necked and hard-hearted into someone whose heart is wise and whose hands are skilled? Hidden within the camp is a hero who is going to arise to transform all of the Israelites. Most of us would expect it to be Moses or Miriam. Instead, we're introduced to a new character. He has never been mentioned in the Torah before this. He's a complete unknown. And he's called upon to oversee the greatest engineering project the Israelites have ever attempted. His name is Bezalel. Salel. Bezalel is in charge of the construction of the Mishkan, the sanctuary, the prototype for the temple in Jerusalem, and some might argue the earliest version of the space that we're all in together now. And Moses said to the Israelites, "See, Adonai has singled out by name Bezalel, son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, endowing him with a divine spirit of skill, ability, and knowledge in every kind of craft, inspiring him to make designs for work in gold, silver, and copper, to cut stones for setting, and to carve wood, to work in every kind of designer's craft, and to give directions from his heart." Bezalel is a magical character in the Torah. He has a deep knowledge of literally just about everything. He has the ability to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. His power lies not within himself, but in his ability to recognize the power, the wisdom, the talent, and the skill that other people have, and to remind them of it. He is singular in the Torah, in that his power is not over anyone, but through everyone. There are two famous midrashim about Bezalel that I want to share with you tonight. The first midrash, the first story, is that Bezalel was 13 years old when all of this stuff happened. More specifically, according to Ein Yaakov, Bezalel had just become a bar mitzvah. The second midrash teaches us about the way that Bezalel used his power. When Bezalel could see in others what they could not see in themselves, sometimes he would whisper into the ear of this Israelite or that, "You have a wise heart. You are a good father. You are a strong and loving mother. You're a good grandparent. You are talented. You have what it takes. You're good at your job. You are strong enough. You are enough to do the work that God has commanded you to do." This week in particular, I would say that we could all use a Bezalel in our lives to whisper something inspirational. But I would also remind you, I'd also ask you that just as badly as we need a Bezalel, I think that sometimes we need to be a Bezalel also. The Israelites came out of the desert with nothing. They were asked to give everything. Why did they do it? Because Bezalel reminded them that they could still create something beautiful in a world like this. When they thought they had nothing left to give, he reminded them that what they had within them was already more than enough. This week, this Shabbos, may you find that what is in you, may you be reminded that it is all more than enough. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. So I'll ask you, if you will now, to please rise, and we are going to turn to page 282. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. On 287, may we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. We know that so many of us are here celebrating simchas tonight. There are others who are in our midst or who are watching from home who are honoring a loss. And so at this time we recall with love the names of those taken from us in recent days. And our hearts go out to their families in sympathy as we recall their names: Esther Berger, Dorothy Meyerson, and Ida Machen. We now recall the names of those, the anniversary of whose death occurs on this Shabbat, and whose names have been inscribed in the archives of our congregation or on the Wall of Honor for perpetual memorial. Lester Ackerman Jr., Gertrude Silverstein Alpert, Max Edward Aronson, Harry Raymond Bean, Rebecca Bortnick Beldner, Norton Frederick Bender, Jack Berg, Jonathan Israel Cohen, Julia Sigaloff Cohn, Rosalind Geis Epstein, Zella Esrock, Fanny Finkelstein, Joyce Ann Connie Flaherty, Barbara Sue Framer, Leo Frank, Oscar Frisch, Dr. Ira C. Gall, Dr. Jeffrey Scott Gall, Judith Gall, Edith Catcher Glazer, Nathan Goldberg, Herbert Goldwasser, Mitchell Grand, Albert M. Greenblatt, J. Gordon Hedges Jr., Marvin Holtzman, Marion Harris Isaacs, Laura Mae Isaacson, Fanny Isserman, Mo Jacobs, Barry Kays, Rosalind D. Kessler, Frida Steiner Klauber, William Klauber, Ruth Kosberg, Jerome Jerry Kraus, John Korriger, Yativ Shapiro Lipschultz, Bernard Littman, Max Lubin, Ben Reznikov, Esther R. Rimmel, Alex Rockman, Saul Roos, Joan W. Rosenblum, Captain Stanley E. Rosenfeld, Rose Rubin, Louis Sachs, Leo Shermer, Annette Schoenberg, Louis Good Schuler Sr., Carl Schweitzer, Ben Schatzman, Rose Sigaloff Silver, Arthur Simon, Philip Seitman, Dorothy Smith, Myrna Sokolik, Sarah Stein, Jeanette Stevenson, George Studna, Bernice Tenenbaum, Max A. Wedelis, Georgia Weinstein, Anna Weiss, Dr. Richard Weiss, Laurel Can Wilson, and G. Daniel Wolf. So with these names and the names we keep in our hearts, we turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ba'alma divorach chirute v'amlich malchute, v'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'bizman kariv emru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevarach La'alam Omei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei V'kudasha B'richu La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata ta'amiran ba'ama v'emru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'emru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'emru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. We say amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael ve'immeru. Amen. Please be seated. So before we turn to our closing song, just a few quick words. First, coming up, I know it seems like we just got through Purim. We did, but it's another holiday coming up. So Passover is just around the corner. If you are looking for somewhere to spend Seder, we would love to have you join us for our second night Seder. It is an adult Seder, which always sounds more risque than I mean to be. It's not risque at all. It's just a Seder. But it's a fun
regular
Seder,
Seder
but it's
for
only
adults.
for grown-ups. So
Okay.
you are more than welcome to join us for that if you'd like. Also in April, following Friday night services, Rabbi Michael is going to be teaching an Intro to Torah class, so you're welcome to join us for that as well. And last but not least, I believe for our closing song, we're doing a little Amen.
Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai, Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai, Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai, Amen, oh Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai, oh Davinu Chai. Oh, Ravinu Chai. Oh, Ravinu Chai. Oh, Ravinu Chai. Amen, Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai. Amen, oh Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai. Amen. Amen, Amen Yisrael Chai, Amen, oh Amen, Amen Yisrael